Next example is a game of chance using binomial probability. So this is an example of a binomial probability game of chance. So remember, in binomial probability, something has to have two outcomes. There has to be multiple events, and they have to be independent. So you have to do the same thing several times. So in this game of chance, the players will roll a five-sided die. So not a normal six-sided die, five sides, 1 through 5. They'll roll it 4 times, trying to roll fives. The grand prize will be to roll 4 fives. The second prize will be rolling 3 fives. Third prize would be 2 fives, and the rest would be losers. Design the game to have an expected value of negative 0.20. So once again, we would start with our events, our gain-loss, our probability of each event. One of the events is to have 4 fives. One event is to have 3 fives, 2 fives, and then we would have the rest, which would be, in this case, 0 or 1 5. The gain-loss we will leave for a little bit, studying the probability of binomial. I know the probability of rolling a 5 is 1 out of 5. And in this case, I would like 4 of those. Probability of not rolling a 5 is 4 out of 5. I want 0 of those. So therefore, we're looking at 1/5 to the 4th power, which ends up being 1 out of 625. Getting 3 fives would be 1/5 to the 3rd power, 4/5 to the 1st power. This would be combination 4 choose 3 or 4 choose 1. Either way is correct. And that probability as a fraction would be 16 out of 625. Two fives would be 1/5 squared times 4/5 squared, 2 fives and 2 non-fives, and then the combination would be combination 4 choose 2. And that would come out to be 96 out of 625. So once again, to find the last probability here, I'm just going to subtract these all from 625 because we're looking at the complements. I'm taking 625 minus 1, minus 16, and minus 96. And so the probability of getting either 0 or 1 fives is 512 out of 625. All right, so now entering in the prizes, I would just take kind of a random guess here. 4 fives is a chance of 1 in 625. So I think we can give that a pretty substantial prize. I'm going to start at 100 for that. The 3 fives is a 16 out of 625 probability. So I'm going to set a price or a prize of $10 for each of those. And the 2 fives, which is a 96 out of 625, that's about 1 in every 6 times. So I'm just going to give a probability or a gain loss of 0, which means they're just getting their money back, and the rest would be losers, so they're losing $1. Now to calculate this again, we're going to do our product of these. And that would come up to be 100 out of 625, plus 160 out of 625, plus 0, minus 512 out of 625. This ends up being a negative 252 out of 625, which is a negative 0.40. So this expected value is that they're losing too much. A couple things you could do to get this closer to negative 0.2. You could increase this grand prize of $100. And you could keep increasing that by $1 at a time until you got close to negative 0.2. The other option would be to increase the second prize, now realizing that has 16 possibilities out of the 625, so you couldn't increase that by a whole lot. Okay, you might be able to go to $20 on that one. But I'll let you play with this one a little bit to kind of determine what you could do to change this. Another thing you could possibly do is to give them $1 every time they get 2 5s. That would add another $96 in there, and it would be pretty close. So your task is to design a game of chance that has over 50 possibilities, meaning your denominator, the total number of possibilities, should be over 50. That's just so the game is not made to be too simple to do that. You need to use multiple events, combinations, or binomial probability. So it can't be just one single simple event like rolling a die or drawing one card. It has to have an expected value of negative 0.2 or as close to negative 0.2 as possible. What you should do is think of a theme that interests you: golf, TV shows, fishing, shopping, etc., and then just roll with it. Don't use a normal die or a normal deck of cards, which is boring. If you use a die, have pictures of maybe TV shows on them, or using a deck of cards, have pictures of different stores at the mall on them. You will just be designing the game on paper right now. You'll just be doing what we have already done in these examples. You will not have to actually construct the game as of yet. That's possibly something down the road. Hope this helps. Again, feel free to constantly Schoology message me with any questions you might have in designing a game of chance. Be creative, have fun. Let me know if you got any questions.